Hello everybody, Skyrim here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Alright, we're down to the final stretch now. Still grinding away. It's been a bit, mind you, sorry for that. But here we are nonetheless. Wanted to make a couple last minute points here for those that are not at 800. Most of us will be this week. So here we go. Couple things, there's do's and don'ts. There's going to be a do's and don'ts in this one, alright? Now also I do want to put in right now, stick around towards the end of the video, I'm going to bring up some thoughts and what I have about the Berserk Crossover event coming up and that kind of thing. But anyway, first let's get this out of the way. This is the main meat and potatoes of the video, and that is talking about legendaries and what to claim, what to not, or what not to claim, what to use, what not to use, that kind of thing. For those 800s out there that are already, obviously, you can chime in and fill in the gaps in some of this, because of course I am 2 levels away right now as this recording, so unfortunately I haven't done 100% testing on this. I tried asking around so far and I haven't heard too much in that, unfortunately, but nonetheless, as a community, we can work together on this. All right. There's do's and don'ts. Do's and don'ts. It's kind of tricky because this time around, I do believe this was the first time that they released a new set of the highest difficulty essences before the server paragon is there for that difficulty. I think this is the first time that ever has happened. So, what transpired in the process is a couple interesting things. One thing, let's get this out of the way first. Certain players can get it, if you haven't gotten them already, you can get the new essences because they're obviously in game now for the past week since the last update. But you have a chance of getting them in the open world farming and dungeons, of course, to get them as drops. Okay, that's great. But that also means you can extract the essences out of those pieces and equip them immediately before you yourself are at that 800 Paragon level. So, that's a plus, I guess, in a sense, right? That's very, very interesting. Unfortunately, as luck would have it in these kind of games, and RNG has never been in my favor for a lot of things, except for that previous video that I did for the gems recently, which is once in a blue moon, mind you, so don't think that happens all the time for me, because it does not at all. Or else I think I'd be much further along than what I am. So I get the rough end of it pretty much every time. But yeah, if you happen to get them, I've been sending everything in the mail, of course, and I've been farming mostly dungeons or set items. That's my main focus for the wisps and whatever, because that's where we need the most. We still need the most, and it's still an absolute grind fest for those, even with the changes they made to set pieces. But as far as the legendaries go, do not claim any of these, and we've discussed this previously, but do not claim any of this stuff until you are 800, and then you can go through and sort out which pieces are going to be upgrades, that kind of thing. However, if you happen to find one of these icons in here that is one of the new essences that you don't recognize, of course, and you'd be like, hey, that's one of the new pieces, right? Feel free. Go for it. If you're not 800 yet, it doesn't matter. You can pull, claim that. Granted, you have to keep in mind if, this piece of gear is an upgrade, well, then you're just going to have to wait, right? But if you don't want to wait, and if you choose not to, you can easily just extract the new essence and apply it immediately. And then, you're off to the races with it, right? So that's the only weird thing that's different this time around, because they released them before the server paragon is 800. But on the downside of that, there are certain things that to keep an eye out for, which is different than it has been in the past, which is why this is kind of confusing. When it comes to, like, say, Battle Pass legendaries, like the one that you get to claim at level 10, of which I have not yet. I think I still have it sitting in here, unclaimed. Where are you at? Right here. Yeah, this thing here. Wait until, when it comes to certain things of this nature, anything other than open world farming and dungeons and wherever you get legendaries to drop from, other than those currently, anything that's like that of claimable legendaries from events or the battle pass, maybe even Yakin, the NPC over here even. I'm not 100% on that one, but anything of that sort, and maybe even, I'm not entirely sure, but maybe the bestiary turn-ins might even apply to this. I'm not 100% on that one. You 800s again, chime in with that, if that's a yay or nay. But when it comes to those, do not claim those until the server paragon. Until the server paragon itself is at 800. We are a week away from that, so a lot of us we can wait. We can sit in our hands just a little bit, just for a little bit longer, right? It's not that far away. It's only a week out. But when the server paragon will reach 800, that's when they will flip the switch across everything else, and then all legendaries from that point on will be same, right? All things apply equally in this regard. All legendary rules apply at that point to all pieces. But like I said, this time around, it's very interesting that certain things are yes, certain things are no, because of the fact that they released the essences early before the server paragon reached that point. Honestly, I kind of hope they don't do that again, because it did kind of create somewhat of a confusion in this point. Yeah, the cool thing is, if you got it early, hey look, I got the essences for Inferno 6 and I'm wearing it with my Inferno 5 gear, haha, you know, hey, more power to you. But again, it kind of throws a little bit of a off into the mix, and from all things in the past of which we had to plan out for, like these kind of things. Like this, again, if you claim it, once you yourself reach Paragon 800, that's fine. You can compare stats and say, oh, this piece is an upgrade for me. But if it isn't, don't salvage it yet. Don't salvage it yet until the server paragon is 800. Because if you do, you will miss out on the loyalty points when everything switches over. Because this will be reset to 0. I think it resets to 0 when the server paragon reaches 800. So you will lose a lot of loyalty points if you salvage them now. So hold off again until we are officially in the clear, and you will see this number reset to 0. Then have at it. Then claim all your stuff. I'm still gonna send all my stuff to mail, which is why there's so much in here. I actually had to start sifting through all the set pieces, mind you, and do that, but that's fine. Set pieces are always going to be the same. They've always been that way, so set pieces are fine to do whatever you want, pre-planning and pre-farming and sorting them out, scrapping them, keeping the ones you want, obviously, for when you can wear them at 800, that kind of thing. So set pieces are unaffected, but for whatever reason this time around, the legendary pieces were a lot more than not. So I just wanted to put this out there for everybody to, take note of, because this is kind of a different situation that we've had in the past. And that's that. All right. Hopefully that's clear enough. Any questions, of course, in the comments down below. And also talk amongst yourselves. For those of you that are already 800, I might chime in a little bit here once I break through in a couple more levels myself, once I've tested a few more things and kind of add it to like maybe some pinned comments or something. But anyway, until then, this is what I have to provide as far as an update and information regarding this thing to keep in mind. So the do's and don'ts. Like I said, the do's and don'ts for legendaries are a little bit different this time around. Now, one last thing, if you hung in this long, I appreciate you, and I wanted to just briefly touch on the crossover event for Berserk that we will be getting eventually here. I don't know the exact dates myself. Of course, some of the content creators have more of an inside track on that are in the Diablo Immortal Partner Program, of which I am not. So unfortunately I cannot provide that information directly to you as quickly. And also at the same time, I feel like, I'd like to be more pleasantly surprised when it comes to certain things and leaks and all that kind of thing. Of course, it's just the nature of the internet now, and has been for quite a long time. Granted, yes, it's fine. It's just part of its nature at this point. It's unfortunate in certain degrees, I have to admit. But nonetheless, I digress in that one. Getting it back around, though, as far as that goes, the speculation, I have mixed feelings when it comes to certain things like this. I don't mind being a theoretical discussion when it comes to such things, but I'm really not. I really don't prefer myself personally to go and put out too much or oversaturated, like information that might not be 100% true, nothing concrete. I much prefer to wait until we get the official, information handed out to us, and then pass that along as fast as possible, and then of course divulge into it a little further. But nonetheless, like for instance, there was some speculation that we were getting another 5-star gem, and then now it's been, changed to a 2-star gem, that kind of thing, just for the biggest example, honestly. And then it's not gonna, now last I heard, it's not gonna be just like a little event, it's gonna be a little bit of a bigger event, and that's just the rumor mill right now for what it is, for what's been generated out there, again, by those in the partner program. It is what it is. Kudos to them for doing so. Take it for what you will. But you always have to, look at all of that and be, yourself critical, and keep in mind common sense and all that kind of thing when it comes to certain things that get put out like this. Be like, hold on a second, that's not official yet, right? But there are certain leakers in the past, mind you, of course, across the interwebs, that do have a the concrete track record. And then when those come out with the early leaks, then those are much, much more reliable, obviously, to take for word, and then go from there and be like, okay, this is what we're going to get, this is what we expect. Then I'm all for it. At that point, I'm all for it, and be like, okay, yeah, sure, we can roll with this now, right? But as far as anything else goes, it's hit or miss, and I'm like, nah, you do you put that stuff out, that's fine, I get it, I completely understand. It's just, the constant grind, and so on and so forth. But there's certain things that I just can't bring myself to do when it comes to that. I'd much rather, again, wait myself personally until it's 100% concrete, and be like, all right, now we can go from there. Again, some of them have more of an inside track than I do. It's whatever it is, what it is, obviously. But nonetheless, that's what I just wanted to put my thoughts out there and let you guys know where I stand as far as that stuff goes. I'm looking forward to it, mind you, obviously, because it's something different. Hopefully, something different, and that we can kind of enjoy a lot more thoroughly than the previous crossover event that we had with the World of Warcraft. That one wasn't too terrible, but it was pretty much just like, oh, here's a couple skins, and here's this little mini dungeon, so to speak, and have at it. So I don't know, I'm hoping that there's a little bit more to it this time around than before, but that remains to be seen. And yeah, we're try to maintain and contain the hype. Don't let it blow up, as with most things in gaming. What we think in our minds, we can hype up so much over, you've seen it happen in the past with trailers. You get too overly excited about just seeing a trailer, be like, well, hold on, where's the gameplay? And then next thing you know, the gameplay is completely lackluster, and it just fell off. And it's like, what happened? Yeah. So maintain the hype, and patiently wait, and then we'll see how things unfold from there. And then we can be a lot more pleasantly surprised at that point, honestly, by taking that approach. But anyway, rambled on long enough, longer than I planned on. As always, you should know this by now. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below about all things discussed here. And again, the whole this legendary essence release early before the server Paragon hit was very, very interesting. Like I said, and it just kind of threw a monkey wrench into how things usually work anyway. So I just wanted to clarify that as best I could anyway. Again, chime in in the comments down below if you are 800. Like I said, I'm not there yet, so I don't have the official testing on certain things. So, but let everybody know, share it across the community, share it amongst each other, help each other out. Until next time, everybody, stay safe out there in the real world, and fire as always. Take care of yourselves as best you can, one day at a time. It's all we can do. It's the best we can do. Until next time, see ya.